Hello, everyone. Welcome to season 2 of the Just a Person podcast. Bam, 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 whoop, whoop. My name is Madison, and I am your host. This week, I'm joined by Sarah, who talks to us about being diagnosed with lupus as a teenager, her rocky journey to that diagnosis, and how she copes with it now. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, Sarah.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You are the third Sarah that we've had on the podcast.
No way.
So third time's the charm. So I guess really quickly, I should address that Sienna's not here. She's just not doing the podcast anymore. She didn't have time for it, but she didn't care if I did it. So here we are.
Here we are.
That's all there really is to that. Nothing too exciting. I wish I had some big drama to report, spice things up a little bit, but I don't.
Should we do a shout out to Sienna?
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out.
Sienna's always welcome back. You know what I mean? Like, if she ever wanted to come back, of course. I love doing that with her. But, you know, sometimes when you're figuring things out after graduating college, it's weird.
It is. Yep.
It's a weird time. So
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. So respect.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kick it off with a question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
If you could become immortal, would you?
Oh, no, probably not.
Yeah, me either. I think that, you know what? In line with the episode today, like, if I was to become immortal, I would not want to be in the body I'm in.
No.
But if you could be somebody else, would you? Or yourself, but just in a different body. One that works a bit better.
Yes, wholeheartedly. Yes. I don't know who, but anyone's.
I feel you. That's what I'm thinking. Although I really think I would just get bored.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd kind of be interesting though to see how it would play out.
Yeah. See how things change.
Yeah.
Why I don't know, but I looked up who the oldest person in the world was the other day, and I read about someone that lived to be like 100, and I don't remember exactly how old they were, but like, let's just say 115 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they were born like 8 years. Okay, once again, I'm just guessing on these numbers, but they're roughly correct.
Mm-hmm.
Like 8 years after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and they died in 1997. Can you imagine how much change they witnessed in their life?
Yeah, a crap ton.
The car, the plane, movies, TV.
Literally everything.
The microwave, everything.
The microwave.
I mean, that's a big one.
Necessity.
Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy. Yeah. I don't know. But that's just my thought on that.
That's interesting to think about it that way.
Yeah. So Sarah, why don't you tell us where you're from, what your childhood was like, your family?
So I'm from Michigan. I am the youngest of 4 siblings. So I have 2 older brothers and 1 older sister. And my childhood was pretty chill growing up. My parents always told us to go play outside. We never were able to watch TV or movies or something. So like I graduated college, all my friends are talking about movies and TV shows. They ask me like, have you seen this movie? And I'm like, no. And it could be like as simple as Aladdin.
Oh, you've never seen Aladdin?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Fun fact, I just watched The Lion King for the first time like 2 years ago.
What?
Yeah.
At my grandma's house, which I used to go to all the time growing up, she had every VHS of all the Disney movies. So we would just watch them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so crazy that you've never seen any. Like, they're just such mainstream things and you have no idea. Yeah. And at this point, it's like, is it even worth it?
I know. Sometimes I spite my parents for saying, go play outside.
Like, you're not addicted to TV, but you have no idea what's going on.
Right. Right.
It's a balance.
Yeah. So that was my childhood growing up in a nutshell.
So do you have a lot of illness in your family or not really?
Yeah, it ranges a lot. I would say my mom's side has more of it in the family, but this was the first time for someone being diagnosed with like an autoimmune disease. So it was kind of weird and different.
What made you like think to even go to the doctor?
I remember I was in junior year of high school and my fingers and my feet were so inflamed. It's kind of like, so you know when someone gets like stung by a bee and they have an allergic reaction? It was literally like that. My hands were so puffy and swollen. I couldn't move them and it was so like I don't know, they were so tight. And I just slept for like 3 days straight and I couldn't get out of bed. I remember waking up one day, I was like crying because I was in so much pain. I was like, Mom, something's not right. So then we went to the doctor and then, yeah, everything went downhill from there.
So it came on like pretty fast. You didn't have a lot of issues before. It just suddenly one day.
Yeah, it was weird. It just kind of like came out of the blue, or I don't know. I remember doing tennis in high school and I remember like my knees were like super sore after playing tennis every single day. And I just thought it was the norm. And then come to find out it wasn't. And I think, honestly, I don't even know how it all started, but I feel like that might have had like an impact on it a little bit.
Yeah, I do remember you coming to school and your hands were like you're not a very big person and your fingers were just huge. I know that it hurt you.
Yeah.
But it was pretty crazy because it was just kind of like all of a sudden your fingers were just so inflamed.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. And I remember too, because I got diagnosed with lupus January 2015. And then February, which was also still junior year of high school, I had my gallbladder taken out and come to find out that was because of the lupus. And it was just like from December to like April was just a complete mess.
So can you just quickly explain what lupus is?
Yeah, so lupus is an autoimmune disease that basically attacks your immune system. So it gets at your organs and your joints and muscles and everything.
I think what's tricky about lupus compared to other autoimmune diseases is that lupus affects your whole body. And I'm not saying others don't, they definitely do, but like a lot of them are more targeted on like something specific. And then that in turn leads to affecting your whole body. But lupus is kind of it's everywhere.
Yeah, and I've come to find that out too. Like I've like had so many problems ever since being diagnosed with lupus, and it's almost like a terrible thing too, because whenever I go to the doctor for like something new, and they see that I have a diagnosis of lupus, they automatically like blame it on that. So it's like I don't even know if like that's the cause, and then I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely a really tricky thing about having an autoimmune disease is that you don't know. And I mean, I do that too. I do that to myself. I'm like, oh, this hurts. Like, it's probably, whatever. Like, it's not something new. It's just something is like getting inflamed, like something's flaring up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go to the doctor because I already know what it is, but it could be something else.
Right.
It's so tricky when you see that because also, how do you even know? You do go to the doctor, and we can talk about doctors in a little bit, but how would they know by just looking at you what it's going to be because you have such a tricky disease to navigate,
Oh, don't even get me started on that. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I do want to get you started on that. You take it away.
I don't know. Okay, so I just get so heated with doctors. So, okay, 2015, right? I go to a rheumatologist and I see the actual like doctor rheumatologist wasn't available. So I saw the PA. The PA diagnosed me with lupus. Then I had like a follow-up appointment a month later. I saw the actual doctor, like the actual rheumatologist. He said, "No, you don't have lupus. You have this auto-inflammatory polyarthritis, whatever. I don't know." So one person says I have lupus. Now you're saying I don't.
So now you spend a whole month thinking you have lupus.
Yeah.
And then someone's telling you you don't. And getting diagnosed with a disease you're going to have your whole life takes time to deal with.
Yeah.
So you're like freaking out for a whole month and then they try to change their mind.
Yeah. So then I go back, I don't know, a year later or something. I see the doctor so often. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, like your numbers are showing signs of lupus." And I'm like, "Okay, so do I have lupus or do I not?" And he was like, "Yes, but we're not treating it like lupus." I'm like, "Okay, you're a doctor. you have this degree, right? You are a medical professional. I really hope he's not listening to this.
Go off on him. Well, you're getting a new doctor anyway, right?
Yes, thank God. Okay. And that
So
new
there
doctor,
we go.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Come to find out, that old doctor, their office closed for some whatever reason. Side note, super upset with them. They never told me they were closing. I go in and it's just a whole mess saying, oh yeah, we're no longer here, whatever. Anyways,
Wait, you went to the appointment and no one was there?
yeah.
What? What do you mean?
There was a sign on the door that says the office is closed. I never was notified that the office was closed.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that really just sets the tone, doesn't it?
Yes. So I get a new rheumatologist. He says I have lupus. He's treating it like lupus. So there we go.
What does it mean to say you have lupus, but we're not going to treat it like lupus? What are they going to treat it like?
Arthritis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did your new doctor do then?
I'm on like a new trial of medicine or something. It's like it's a cancer drug. It's just more medicine. The amount of medicine I take daily is insane. So I have my own pharmacy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Does that like, I guess I don't understand. Well, now that I don't understand, I just don't know. If you have lupus, is it one that like only will get worse, or if you take your medicine, it kind of like stabilizes and you're preventing it from getting worse?
Yeah, it's supposed to stabilize. They go off, or they base it off of like your blood work numbers, seeing if they're elevated or if they're like neutral or something. I don't know. But I've noticed when I'm super like stressed or overwhelmed or something, like I'll have a flare up. My hands would get all swollen and then my legs get really, really restless. I can't sit still and I can't stop moving them. I can't stop moving, but I'm super, super, super fatigued. I cannot get out of bed. The doctor always says, yeah, you got to avoid stress. I'm like, how can I avoid stress?
Yeah, you're just a person.
Yeah.
Like it's just stressful to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were in high school at the time. So do you want to talk about kind of transitioning from high school to college and what new issues arose as you kind of try to deal with it?
Yeah, so it was kind of a big transition because I was diagnosed junior year of high school, like I said. So I had that year and then senior year, and then I went to college, and my doctor was obviously back home, and I didn't have a doctor up at college. So like I was always driving home for appointments, things like that. Nothing new really started to arise until I want to say a couple years ago, where my liver enzymes or something are high. I don't know what that all means. We should get a nurse on here. I don't know, or a doctor. I don't know.
Not your old doctor, though.
No,
a different
no,
one.
yeah. So they just have to like watch my liver.
It does take a while for something like that to like cope with it and be like okay about it.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think that took you?
Oh gosh, I'm still going through it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's like such an all-consuming thing that
It really is. Yeah.
is just always like present in your life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think a big part of that, to me at least, is like trying to explain to people why you have to do the things that you do because they don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And like because it's not something they've ever had to think about, because why would they? Like it's not everyone in the world has lupus, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know what it is, they don't know how to treat it, they don't, because isn't it, I don't know if this is a thing for people with lupus, but for you, like you have to be careful about like drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because of your liver?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think, I don't know, like how do you feel about kind of explaining it to people, or are people like pretty receptive to it or not?
No. I remember when I first got to college, it was like my friend group, we were all going out drinking, and like I didn't want to drink. So I decided to be like the DD, and like from there it kind of just stuck. But like in the very beginning, I told them, I was like, no, I just like don't want to drink, whatever. And peer pressure, whatever. So then I finally like ended up telling them because they're like my friends, and now they just like joke about it. They're like, oh yeah, Sarah can't drink, she's always our DD. It's kind of bad to say, but it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, I don't really care, I'll just drink. everything is stable right now, which is good, knock on wood. So I feel comfortable enough to have like a few drinks here and there, but like I'm not, getting plastered.
I hope not.
I don't really tell people anymore. I'm just like, I always offer to be the DD. I'm like, oh, I'll just be the DD. I don't care. And they're like, cool.
Yeah, they're like, yes, sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you feel like this or not, but I think sometimes it feels embarrassing or like awkward for no reason because it doesn't have to be that way. I don't know what it is, but just to like tell people it feels weird.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it almost feels like attention seeking, except for it's not.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel with this podcast, really. Cause like I'm not used to talking about myself and like my problems.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You are attention seeking. I remember you called me and you're like, hey, I need you to bring the podcast back because I need to talk about myself and I need a platform to speak. And I said,
yes.
no.
No. And here we are. Yeah, no, I get that. I think that's honestly why I avoid it. And I just like don't even tell people anymore. I'm fine with people knowing, but at the same time, like it's personal information.
Until people come over to your house and you have like 20 pill bottles on the counter and they're like, Sarah, are you okay? Is that an experience you've had?
Yep.
I think it's really interesting that you take a cancer drug for lupus. Do you trust your new doctor enough to like be okay with whatever they tell you to do?
No, because it took me, so I went and saw this new doctor back in February and he prescribed this new like cancer drug for me like at that time in February. I didn't start taking it until I want to say early April because I was scared. He immediately told me, he's like, yeah, it's a cancer drug. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah, like that doesn't make you feel better.
No. So then I was like texting my mom. I was like, Mom, I don't want to take this. And it's weird. Like I only take it one day out of the week and I take like all pills on one day.
Oh, that is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of like this double-edged sword. Like I can continue staying on the medicine I've been on since 2015 and still be in pain and have like the side effects from the medicine or do this new thing, this new drug. And I don't know.
How difficult are the side effects of the other drug? Like, do you have a lot of them or?
Mm-hmm. I mean, weight gain is one. And like, especially with lupus, one way to kind of help mediate like the symptoms of lupus is to exercise. But like, how can I exercise if I'm tired and fatigued? So it's like that double-edged sword almost. But yeah, that's one. And then like excessive hair growth, which is another really bad side effect. Like I'm on a steroid, so I really want to get off of that one. But yeah, just the side effects aren't fun. And it's like again, I don't know if the side effects are from like the lupus or if it's from like the medicine. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's all very confusing. And I think people really underestimate the exhaustion of not only actually just being tired all the time, which pretty much all autoimmune diseases are that, but also just being tired of never feeling good.
Yes.
Like that takes such a toll and it makes it, I mean, you can try to be as like happy and positive as you can, but sometimes for me, if I don't feel good, whatever, and then like something teeny tiny will happen, like I got a spider bite the other day that that swelled up really big because I that always happens when I get spider bites and I just like lost my mind. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like too much when something else is added on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if you have that same thought, but
yeah, no, I do. And especially like kind of going back to what you were saying earlier about like never knowing how you're feeling. Whenever I go home and visit my parents, my mom's like, oh, you like always look tired. How are you feeling? I'm like,
you always look tired. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah.
But anyway.
I was talking to my mom about that a while ago, and I'm like, I don't know what I felt like before. I'm trying to think of sophomore year of high school and like how I felt. And like, I can't remember. It's been so long that I've just felt this way, I guess. And I've had to deal with it. And it's like a whole lifestyle change.
Yeah, that makes you a little sad too. Like when you can't remember the good times anymore.
Yeah.
And you know you're never going to get it back.
Yeah.
When you're 16 years old, or were you 7? You were 16.
Mm-hmm.
and you find out like you're going to be sick the rest of your life. That's so tough.
I do have to say though, I'm throwing myself under the bus here. So big Selena Gomez fan, right? In high school.
What? That's not, I didn't think this was going anywhere. Okay, sure.
My room is decked out with, you saw that picture. I think I sent it to you.
Oh, I see where this is going now. But when you first said that, I was like, okay. Yeah. I got you. Okay.
Like I had all Selena Gomez posters all over my room, like when I was younger. She has lupus.
Right.
Like I kind of like,
right. Yes.
I don't know. I was like, I have lupus and Selena Gomez has lupus. We're one in the same.
Oh my gosh. You're like, I knew I liked her for a reason. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Yeah. I think it's nice to have like a celebrity or like someone that people know that have the same thing, because then it makes it not that big of a deal and people learn about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then if you ever meet, you have something to talk about.
I did write her a fan letter one time.
About lupus?
No.
Okay. So you have 3 things that you could talk about. Number 1, lupus. Number 2, you could show her a picture of your bedroom. And number 3, that you wrote her a letter and she didn't answer, and that's awkward.
I should note for people listening that my room has changed. I am now an adult.
I would like to say that I'm looking at your room right now and it's the same.
Thank you. It still has the pink wallpaper, flowers.
It's not even wallpaper. It's literally just photos of Selena Gomez.
Thanks.
Yeah. One more thing I did want to touch on really quick is something I think people find helpful. What do you do about dating? What is the reaction of people when you tell them you have lupus? Or is that just a situation, one of them that you have, you're like, it's not worth telling?
I choose not to tell people until like I can trust them or like I get close with them. I just say I've got health issues going on. I keep it very brief. But like my ex, he was like super supportive of it. And I haven't really had someone who's been like, oh, like you have lupus, ew, or like, I don't know, like never like a bad reaction. It's more of like, tell me about it. What is it? Like, I've never heard of it before. Like, how does it affect you? I mean, it's basically just, I choose not to, like I said before, I choose not to talk about myself and put attention on myself. So if they ask, like I'll tell, but once I get more comfortable with them, then I will.
That makes sense. I think it's just it can be tricky because it's like, you don't want to seem like you're hiding something because you're not, but also that's like kind of a weird thing to lead off with.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Is there anything else that you would like to say? Things you wish people understood? Any of those things?
Kind of just like what I was saying earlier, like, I guess you don't know what everyone is going through. So like being kind and patient. Sometimes there's just days where I literally cannot get out of bed. Respect that.
Yeah, like it's not personal.
Yeah. So just kind of having that mindset of saying, you know, everyone's going through their own thing, no matter if it's health issues or, you know, whatever. Being mindful and respectful of it.
And that's therapist Sarah coming at you right there.
You know, yes.
Do you think that having gone through this yourself, do you think that helps you kind of understand your patients better?
Yeah, for sure. I think kind of just like with that mindset, especially, you know, working in the mental health field, there are days where my clients can't get out of bed. And like, I understand it, even though it's 2 completely different things. But again, with that mindset of everyone's going through their own stuff and everyone deals with things differently. So kind of just having that empathy and that respect for one another and saying, you know, I'm doing my best. This is what I can right now.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
I don't think so. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being a guest, for badgering me until I let you on the show.
Oh, whatever.
I love talking to other people with autoimmune diseases because it's comforting in a very weird way. So thank you for being a guest.
Yes, we are in it together.
Woo! Autoimmune friends unite.
Yay.
All right. I will talk to you later.
All righty. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much again to Sarah for being on the show today. If you have a story you want to personally share on the show or want us to read on air, or a topic you'd like to hear discussed, find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at justapersonpod, or send us an email at justapersonpod@gmail.com. We'll see you next Monday with another new episode.